What is aperitivo? Is it the same thing as happy hour in the States? No, it is not. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Arlene. I am an American woman of a certain age who moved to Rome, Italy in 2008. And on this channel, we talk about all things Italiano, lifestyle, St. Martin, Anguilla. And today, we're talking about one of my favorite things in Italy, aperitivo. I'm on my way to the historic center to meet one of my friends. It is gorgeous out. Um, I'm going to cut through the park, and then I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see, the historic center, which is quite beautiful. And I will talk a little bit more about aperitivo. So I didn't know what aperitivo was when I first came to Italy as a tourist. And I met up with a friend of mine who was in town at the same time as me. She also lived in Los Angeles. And we went to Tad, which used to be on Via Babuino. And if you remember that store, it was kind of like the Roman version of Barney's, New York. And we're sitting on the roof terrace, and I ordered a mojito, and the waiter brought out the little nibbles, like little sandwiches, etc., etc. And I look at him and I said, "Oh, I didn't order this. I didn't order food." And his expression, he just looked at me like, "No, it comes with the drink." I was like, "What?" And to be honest, I've been spoiled, because now when I'm back in the States and I order something to drink and you get nothing, maybe if you're lucky, you'll get like some peanuts. I find it a bit weird. It's a little strange. Like, you're supposed to have something with your drink. It's good for digestion, etc., etc. And aperitivo doesn't mean it's always alcoholic. You can have like a Coke if you want, ginger ale, a mocktail. The reason why I'm walking so slowly is because I don't want the camera to be shaking so much. And of course, these sidewalks are not the smoothest, and I really need to pay attention so I don't wipe out, because that would be pretty embarrassing. And when you're a woman of a certain age, you really cannot afford to fall down. You could break a hip or something. And speaking about breaking a hip, I really need to do like a short or something about And Just Like That. I stopped watching season 3, episode 2. I was done. I couldn't anymore. I tried. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. Let's get into the park, and I'm going to turn the camera around. So happy hour in the States usually means there are drink specials, discounted drinks. It's a way for a bar or a restaurant to encourage people to hop in during hours that they are normally quite slow. Whereas here, aperitivo is basically when you get together with friends, or you're even by yourself. You do it before dinner. It's supposed to help open up your palate before you eat. And it's also a way to signal the workday is done. In places like Rome, when the weather is fantastic, you see a lot of people outside in piazzas having aperitivo. And it started in northern Italy, Torino, Milano, and then it went all over the country. And usually you have some kind of food with your drink. Some places they do what we call Apericena, which is more substantial, it's more of a meal, and there's usually like a drink plus 10 euros, and they have a buffet. So one reason I enjoy aperitivo is because I am not a fan of eating dinner super late. And in Rome, we tend to eat dinner on the later side, at least for this American. I've lived here a long time. I'm still not used to eating dinner at 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. One reason is because I tend to wake up pretty early. And so aperitivo makes sense because if you're eating lunch, let's say at 1 o'clock, and you're not eating dinner till 9:30, aperitivo is perfect, right? For me, it's a great time to meet up with friends, or sometimes when I'm at home by myself, I have aperitivo. It's like, okay, the work day is done. Let me close the laptop. It's a little bit harder for me because of the time difference with the States, but I try. And you don't have to drink alcohol during aperitivo. You can order a Coke. You may not get nibbles with the Coke though, or the iced tea. There are mocktails that you can drink. It's really about being social. And like I said, it's more like a ritual. It's like, okay, the workday is done, time for aperitivo. On the weekends, it's like, okay, aperitivo, then we go to dinner. Some places even have a lunch aperitivo. Like we would have it at 12 and then have lunch at 1 o'clock. And it's just so, it's just fantastic. I cannot stress how much I love aperitivo. And I think it's something that we should adopt in other countries because it's a great way to get together. And depending where you go, it's not that expensive. I was in Tuscany at a friend's house, and we went to the little cafe, what they call a bar, in the center of town, which is like a 2-block walk. And there were 3 of us, and we ordered Prosecco. And they said, okay, that's €6. And I'm thinking, okay, €6 per person. It was €2 per person. And it came with potato chips, some peanuts, a little like sandwich that was like cut into quarters. And I'm like, this is amazing. Now, yeah, if you do aperitivo at one of the 5-star hotels here, it's going to cost more money. So the last time I went to Hotel de Russie for aperitivo, my 25-euro cocktail came with a little mini burger that was so delicious. So right now I am close to the center. I'm walking past all these tour buses. The line goes on forever. So many buses. And keep in mind, this is September. It's not even like the height of high season. I feel like September is high season until like maybe mid-November. Things will slow down a little bit. So anyway, so that's the story with aperitivo and why I love it so much. So I'm on my way to Ciampini. There are 3 of them in Rome. I'm going to the one that's in Piazza San Lorenzo. In Lucia, there's a church called San Lorenzo. And in this piazza, there are 3 cafes, but I will only go to Ciampini. Even if there's a line, I will not go to the other 2. It's just like everybody has their spot. And the thing that's great about Ciampini, even though it's in a very touristy area, locals go there as well. And it's beautiful out. I'm going to sit in Piazza and have a drink. I'm going to have a mocktail. I'm not drinking, but I am looking forward to seeing my friend who lives on the opposite side of town. So we have to meet in the historic center because it would take me like an hour and a half to get to her house and vice versa. It's just it's crazy, makes no sense, but that's the public transportation situation. Another thing about aperitivo is, of course, every place has its own vibe. And when I first moved to Rome, one of the top places for aperitivo was this place in Trastevere. It had a huge outdoor patio. What was the name of it? It's like Venetians. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it. It's like brakes and pads. And the last time I went there, I looked around at the crowd. I was like, yeah, I've aged out. I can't go here anymore. But it was fun. Oh, it lasted. So on my blog, I have a list of great places to go in Rome for aperitivo, and I will link to that in the description. Another great place for aperitivo is Bar Campaneschi. Service is so slow, but you're sitting in Piazza Borghese, which is one of the most beautiful piazzas in Rome. And again, it's in a very, touristy area. You're very close to Campari, but it has a local vibe. A lot of locals go there. People that sit there like every day, basically, you see them. And since I don't live in the historic center anymore, I don't get to go that often. But anyway, so once we walk through these walls, through the gate, we will be in the historic center. Venetians, so beautiful. I'm trying to steady this camera. So those churches, we call them the gemelli, which means twins in Italian. I don't know what this Roman dude is doing. I have not seen this over here ever. Usually they're hanging out closer to the Colosseum. This is Piazza del Popolo, which means Plaza of the People. This is a place where they have a lot of concerts and political rallies. And for now, the Christmas tree. So you see up there where those people are standing, that's a great lookout, especially at sundown. Okay, I think I'm going to walk down Via Babuino instead of Via del Corso because it will be less crowded. So this street leads to Piazza di Spagna and Spanish Steps. And this is the Hotel de Russie. The garden there is gorgeous. This is Piazza di Spagna, and those are the Spanish Steps, and that is the crowd. I'm going to try to avoid. I wanted to see the fountain, but let me go over here, walk down the Road. Okay, I'm getting off the main street. It's just too crowded, too many people. Okay, the full sun is a bit much. I'm trying to get back in the shade. I'm pretty close to the piazza that I need to get to. Okay, this is Via del Corso, major street, and now I am turning into Piazza San Lorenzo and Lucia. I said there were 3 cafes. I forgot about this one. I'm going to turn the camera around. I forgot about this cafe. I don't know anything about it. But the other 3 are at the end of the piazza. There's some kind of renovation work going on at the church. You'll hear the bells at some point. So Ciampini is a bit old school. It's not as touristy as the other 2. I've never been to this one on the left. Let's see if my friend Marta is here. I think I'm here first. So Marta and I both got mocktails, and yet we still get these nibbles with our drinks. So we're trying to figure out, there's a gentleman over on my left who has all these tats, a young guy, and he seems to be a celebrity of sorts. We're not sure who he is. Just said goodbye to my friend who hopped into an Uber, and I am heading home. Not sure if I'm going to walk all the way home or hop on the tram. Traffic, I think I'm going to walk instead of getting on the tram, which is not even running. They only have buses because they're doing some work on the tracks or something. It's Friday. I'm on my way to meet another friend, her friend Courtney, and we're staying on our side of town, Roma Nord. We're going to one of our favorite places instead of going down into the historic center. It feels like it's going to rain. Anyway, this neighborhood is Flaminio. So we're meeting at a place called Etablino, and the owner of Etablino used to have a restaurant, bar, cafe in the historic center not far from Piazza Navona called Etabli, which I ended up going to when I was here as a tourist because my friend is friends with the owner, and it was a place we used to go to all the time. They moved out of the historic center and came to this neighborhood, and so Etablino means little Etabli. This is one of my favorite piazzas. There's a great tennis shop over here on the left. I don't know if Courtney is here yet. Oh, I think she is. And it's a great local spot. Lots of kids playing soccer in the piazza. And it is a very nice evening. Courtney is studying the menu. Ciao, Courtney.
Ciao, Arlene. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
It's so great to see you. Oh my God. We're not drinking?
Okay, so we're not going to have alcohol tonight. We're both going to have mocktails. But instead of doing like the aperitivo thing, we're actually going to order food. This is a surprise. Courtney told me to close my eyes, and when I opened them, there was this beautiful tote that she bought for me for my birthday in Indonesia. It is handcrafted, and also this note is very sweet. Thank you, Courtney. So these are our drinks, and this came with the drinks, but our food is coming out a little later. We're here on the early side and the kitchen's not open yet.